Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for submitting to our festival. I love your film. I when so me and my business partner Joseph, we're the programmers, and we have a production company. We make features ourselves in our small little area of Arizona. But when I watch yours, I texted him. I'm like, I think you're gonna love this movie, and I'm really excited to show it. Can you tell
Oh,
me a
thank
little
you.
bit about yourselves? What your different parts were in the film?
Well,
You go.
who's going to start?
You go on.
I mean, the important thing is the bathroom is my bathroom at home, and my poor family have had to put up with a bathroom with the Martin Decker show painted on the wall for about 18 months. Do you think it was? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
what's it?
what happened was the origin of the show, I suppose. I'll go back. Is that it started off? It's funny you say about theatre. We actually originally it was started off as a bit of a theatre piece, and then during lockdown, to be honest, we started looking at ways of doing it, and that's how it sort of like became this. We started using my bathroom basically, and so what happens is that it's a unique way of filming, hopefully, in that we set up these cameras in the bathroom. It's like that sounds ridiculous, but it's a couple of GoPro cameras and iPad, the iPhones, and then I'm actually not in the bathroom at all during filming. Keiron is completely operating everything inside the bathroom, and I'm kind of viewing it through a little iPad. Uh, it was so much fun to make, but it is in the sense that it was quite like there was a lot of trust and freedom doing it because we just kind of like were kept quite separate during filming. So I guess
Well,
that's how the starting point was. I mean, I don't know what Kieran
yeah.
thinks.
No, I don't mean, and also because it was lockdown, we had to keep our distance anyway. Heavily ventilated houses. I'd wear a mask whenever I came out of the bathroom, and we'd both keep distances, and it was a way to keep sane as well during the lockdown. I mean, it was great, personally speaking, for me, just to have Kev be up for doing something like this, and also to include me in it. I'd sort of been involved in the sort of an R&D session with the theatre piece version of this, which had kind of got to a certain level, and then we weren't sure what to do with it. And then this opportunity came up, and Kev had written a couple of short bits to camera, which incorporated some of the themes from the theatre piece, but was shorter and allowed me to improvise around it, which was always helpful. So I didn't have to learn like pages and pages of stuff. And from then on, it sort of blossomed. Really, we ended up doing a whole YouTube channel which Kev set up, and we try and get together, at least once a month at the outset to do something to camera, normally in an outside space, or as said, in Kev's heavily ventilated house, or making sure nobody else was there. And yeah, it became a way of getting through lockdown to a certain extent. For me, I think it just gave us a creative outlet that I certainly couldn't have, because theaters weren't open. There wasn't a lot of filming work going on, for at least for those initial 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was good fun, and we ended up sort of shaping the character as we went along. So it became a very evolutionary thing, and Kev was generous enough to allow me to sort of contribute and ask my thoughts, and we kind of shaped him as we went along. And
Yeah,
then as a result, we had all the sort of raw material, because we had loads of stuff, which then Kev filleted down to the length of the film that people have seen with you guys tonight, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Or said tonight, this is recorded in
Yeah,
advance.
yeah. It'll
what
be it'll be
professionals,
next week on
Professional
Friday. Yeah. So how
yeah.
early in the process did you know that this was going to be a feature, and did you start posting some of the videos to YouTube?
I think what happened was we were it was. I remember very early on we did one of them, and it's unusual because I did one. Well, we made one, and then I remember Kieran saying, "Oh, we're going to make this into a film, aren't we?" And I was like, yeah, "Okay, we've just made a short, a YouTube thing." And then suddenly we made another one, and then we started talking about the character, and it was just that we kind of. So it was very organic, the process, but I think we just, because we kind of both work in telly stuff as well, we were both we just couldn't help ourselves trying to put it together. It was just like, because the other thing was that, and I guess maybe it's a theatre thing as well, is that, you know, I think the idea of showing it in front of an audience is one of the things that we really wanted to do. Because obviously when you show things on YouTube, you don't have that kind of reaction sort of thing. So I think it was probably, I think we made a half-hour version first, and then it just got longer. And then what was great was that when things were more open, we started able to bring in more actors and stuff, and they were very nice. We used to pay them with custard slices. I remember.
Because it's like
Uh,
coffee. That was about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so it was kind of like there was a point of no return. I think when you get to like the thing being about 40 minutes long, you're like, actually, we're halfway now. We might as well do it. And I think because it was the two of us, we were what's the word? We were just kind of egging each other on a little bit, so we just kept going. So yeah, yes. So it sort of developed in
Yeah.
organic.
Yeah, we started making our first narrative feature just before COVID. So we started that like January 2020. So we had like 2 shoot days, and then everything, maybe a few more, and everything hit. We had to shut down. And in Arizona, you weren't allowed to basically do anything through the whole month of April. And so we're just sitting on it, trying to figure out what to do next. We were able to go back and finish shooting our feature during May, June, and July of that year. And then we were able to get it out. But, I sat on the edit for like a year because I was frustrated with the sound and whatever. But yeah, no, I through that whole process, I've really decided that what our place is with the festival that we then started and with the features that we make is I just really want to encourage this micro budget filmmaking approach. Um, you say that you made it for £800. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean that's like yeah, that's the top end.
Maybe.
You did have that. There was a
Yeah.
whole trip, a family trip you took to Cyprus, wasn't there? That you
Yeah, so
thought
that
you could get some.
which that was our expensive. We didn't actually use that. We didn't use that material, no.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's interesting what you said about lockdown, because there was a point where we couldn't see each other, and that's why so we tried to, you were thinking about saying about micro budget and how can you keep making stuff. So there's
Yeah.
one point where you'll notice that Martin Decker becomes plasticine or clay, and it's because we weren't allowed to see each other. So what we did was I was making these clay Martin Deckers in the house, and then Kieran, who's set up with his with a microphone at home, was sending me stuff down the internet. So we were effectively making a film in two houses. And there was another time where I think Martin goes to his mother's bathroom, goes to
Yeah.
stay with his mum. That whole thing was based on the idea that we couldn't see each
Yeah.
other. So that's Kieran's bathroom. I
Yeah.
shouldn't try to be talented. They've seen the film, haven't they? Okay,
At this point, anyone
yeah,
watching this, they're either watching it on YouTube or they've just seen the film. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I went off on that tangent then, but yes. What I forgot what we were now. So sorry. We were talking about micro budget
Mm.
filmmaking.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think, and also it was. I mean, inevitably, it would only take a few hours, wouldn't it, Kev? Each sort of session, and we were very wary, especially when we got other people in, because they're all working, and a lot of them are quite busy actors themselves. So we just didn't want to take up their time. So we try and sandwich them into a couple of hours in a morning, and we'd roughly go through what was required, and then we'd improvise around it, and then Kev would hack it to pieces in his edit
Yeah.
suite.
But
Not
the funny thing was often what would happen, I'd have the script and all the lines I'd written, once I got to the edit suite, I'd chuck them out and we'd just have the improv stuff in. Because I always know that everyone's going to come up with something funnier and better. So it's kind of like it's a really interesting process where you can kind of just like, you have to have a script, but once you've got the script, it means you don't have to use it
Yeah.
later on. So, I mean, I'm lucky enough to, to have some editing experience as well. So it was kind of, um, there was kind of, yeah, there was a lot of opportunities. Like if we cut everything together, the film would probably be about 4 hours
Yeah.
long,
Yeah, that makes
and you wouldn't want to show it.
There, I think this will be a good piece for people to see in a group. Comedy really lends itself to that, but there's not just comedy in it. There's a whole lot of heartbreak in it. I love seeing the development of Martin's character as he just kind of descends and things get worse and worse and worse. How did you kind of figure out what the kind of the plot through line was going to be? Like how all these different vignettes were going to progress?
I think that's down to sort of Kev, really. I mean, the thing with comedy, I think, is that it doesn't work unless there's something underpinning it. If there's some heart, there's got to be heart or some sort of. I mean, there's quite a melancholic edge to Martin. He's a certain age, quite similar to me and Kev in terms of age, but I think it's stuff that everybody can key into, and I think that's what makes it work. But the character, I mean, we always sort of had an idea that he may or may not get back with his wife, or he was having a nervous breakdown, essentially a massive midlife crisis. But would he be able to get back from it? And then obviously he didn't want to go too dark. But we did have some back and forths about what to do. But Kev just managed to streamline all the stuff we'd done, and we added little bits that we weren't sure what we'd do with, cutaways and things like that. That sort of helped spread out the story, so that we could, because initially they were sort of like self-contained sketches almost, but with an element of sort of storytelling very much in the background about how he's lost his job and how he didn't see his kids very often, and then that he was holed up in the bathroom, and also that his wife was trying to sell the house. But all these little things ended up being drip fed into the sort of short vignettes. We're going, oh, there's an arc happening without us really sort of pushing it too much. And we just thought, as long as there's something concrete and emotional in the background, I think it just adds weight to all of his sort of desperation and his need to sort of communicate with people. And it sort of makes it, although it's hopefully still funny, it's also a little bit tragic, which is, it's a sweet spot.
Yeah, you need tragedy
Balance.
in comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it just gives it a bit more weight.
Yeah, I think that because the bathroom had a cupboard in it, I always thought for some reason Marty would hide in the cupboard. I don't know why. We thought that quite early on.
Yeah.
Because again, it's about your resources, isn't it? This is like, this would be great. So no one will realise right to the end he's got a cupboard. But
But we ended up doing bike stunts in that bathroom as well, Kev. So BMX. I wasn't expecting to do a BMX bike stunt in there.
Yes. I mean, at one point there was a serious conversation about green screening the whole bathroom, as you just paint the whole bathroom green. And I was, I just realised that could be impact my own relationship issue.
It gets expensive too.
So we didn't do that. Yeah, it's quite expensive. Yeah, so no, we didn't do that. But
No.
I think, yeah. So I think I think what happened in terms of the arc was that like you kind of find that as soon as you go a bit more serious, there's a point of no return. Where as soon as the stakes go up, you have to embrace the drama of it, and therefore, yeah, we just sort of knew that um, there's certain jokes that only work in the first half and not in the second.
Mm.
I think it became more tragic the second half of the film.
Mhm.
And we were quite set on Martin being outside at the end as well. I think.
Yeah, we wanted some sort of cinematic vista, like The Searchers or
Burying
something.
everything.
Except it was
So I
Yeah.
live in the American West. So when I when
yeah,
I when I drive around outside, like literally, we're maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours from Tombstone. Like the American West, that's where I live. So when I'm trying to plan a project, I'm like, I have this outside.
yeah,
I got to use it. So our first feature was kind of a neo noir, and I know I have a mountain up here, and I've got this over here. We didn't end up getting to use the mountain, but we're out in the desert, and we're just using the resources that we have, and I think it worked well. We live in a small town, and we tried to use it. We tried to show the landscape where we're at, and I think
yeah.
that's the beauty and the brilliance of being able to take the resources you have and tell a really powerful story. The fact that the majority of this is told from a bathroom, it just kind of melts away because you're paying attention to Martin and everything that's going on with him, his antics, but also the overarching story. And so the fact that he's almost exclusively in this bathroom, it doesn't matter. It's good storytelling, and
Oh
it
no,
absolutely works.
Oh,
oh no.
okay.
What does this mean? We should keep talking.
We should keep talking. We'll fill in. Go on, you fill in. Improvise.
So,
I think
hopefully
it
he'll
might have
come
cut
back.
out a bit.
Oh
I'm
no,
Still
sure.
there?
his internet just went out.
Yeah. I'm sure. Well,
Mm,
I think it's still recording anyway, isn't it?
yeah, says it is. Hopefully,
So
yeah.
this is the edit. I'm in the edit suite today. It's really glamorous, isn't it?
Oh, was it? Oh, right. It looks
Yeah.
lovely.
It's like a fire
Oh, you
escape.
got that. Oh,
It
yeah.
looks like if you open the door, you look onto some pigeons actually on the roof. Yeah.
And where are you? Where are you? Down in Gorilla, or is it?
No, it's down cinematic.
Where's
Yes,
that one?
it's Mansfield Square. Oh, here we go.
Hey, there he is.
Hello.
Yeah, that
Fantastic.
I adjusted something. Hopefully that wasn't the internet on my end, but it sounds like it was. All right.
Oh, it's carried on recording anyway, so
It's
the
recording it,
recording
so I
system.
think we're going to be okay. It's not showing
Yeah.
you yet, but I can hear you.
Oh, right. Okay, we can
To
see
see
you.
you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, hmm. Well, that's really strange.
Oh, because you need to see what
Maybe
you don't
do
get.
You want us
you want to try logging out
do
and
you want us to?
getting back in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Let's try that. I'll be able to edit all this together anyway, so.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. See you in a
Okay.
sec.
Okay, that's one.
You see me?
Yep, I can see you, and here's Kevin.
Oh, okay. Hey, there we are.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay.
I think that's what we had to do to fix
Oh,
that.
Yeah. And when I logged out, then it said it did say it's uploaded it. You were
Okay,
saying
good.
about you would upload it quite
Okay,
quickly, doesn't it?
perfect. That's what we needed. All right. Well, I'm
Cool.
sorry for the interruption.
that's all right. The vagaries of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
recording this from my office. I'm an English professor at a small community college, and
All right.
internet works all the time except when I want to do this. So that's
Shouldn't be doing it at work. That's what it
no.
is. They're trying
I
to
think
stop
I, I think this I got to talk about this with my students. I got to involve them, and hopefully it adds culture and other interesting
Oh
things
yeah,
to
yeah.
what's going on. So try to make it a positive,
Of course.
get them included.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I forget what we were talking about, the cinematic vistas and using the resources we have. I do like the ending where we're able to get Martin out of the house and he's burying everything, and we're intercutting between what with the wife's narrative and that.
Yeah.
I like how everything comes together at the end. I think that works really well. We start with our found footage, and then we see how everything's come together by the end. I think that works really well.
Oh, thank you. That's all down to Kev. That is. He did a
Well,
very
I
good job
mean, you
there.
could say that, but well, it just happened, didn't it? It just happened. It was the right thing to do because the main thing we realised was that if um, if Martin's wife returns, we have a we it should be it's that thing, isn't it? It's the ending you want, which you want Martin's wife to return, but it's not the right ending. So the ending, the truthful ending, is that. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it just in case someone hasn't seen the film. But yes, it hopefully is a
There's
truthful ending.
aliens and a big, yeah,
Spoiler.
and Sylvester Stallone comes in. It's very big. We blew all the budget on that. The 800 quid went on Sylvester
Yeah,
Stallone
Yeah,
for the day.
yeah.
it's amazing, really, isn't it? Yeah, he was so nice to him, such so gentle as well, and took a customer service.
He needs to work. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
He doesn't do enough. He's not in the Rocky movies anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
what's what's the next project for you? Do you have something else that you're thinking about working on?
we
Yeah, well, like we said, we're hopefully doing a tour of this,
Mhm.
the Q&A tour with me being Martin Decker in character and having feedback from the audience afterwards, which should be interesting. And then we've got also a couple of ideas. One about two people starting a cult. We're sort of like trying to expand the cast a bit more. So it's about two blokes trying to start their own cult, and it not going to plan and very quite low key again probably.
yeah
Um, but yeah, I mean, at the moment, we do. What's been great is just been working with Kev. We did a short film together back. Was it 2009?
yeah
So I've
many
known
years
Kev
ago.
for
Yeah,
years. We did a short film then, and we hadn't really seen a huge amount of each other apart from bumping into each other now and again at sort of theatres and stuff. So it's been wonderful to sort of properly reconnect and work properly, and also have a laugh, and also be in control of what you're making rather than having to do stuff for other people. We both are writers, and Kev edits lots of stuff as well, but it's when you're beholden to other people's notes and you have to do them to sort of keep everybody sweet, can often be a little bit frustrating. So it's great that we're in charge of whatever we do next, and hopefully it'll be as much fun as this has been. So
yeah.
yeah,
We just have to. It's literally about just for the next thing. It's like we know what we want to do. We just got to kind of like slot it in around life and everything, isn't it? I think that's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But
And it's
yes, it'll. So it hopefully it'll be the next. It'll be the next progression from Martin, really.
Mm.
and
Uh,
hopefully we're going to try and just film it all in a week rather than take 2.5 years, and see if we can get stuff done within that. If we can book people and then just try and do it over the course of a very concentrated period of time rather than
Mhm.
allow it to spill over and become a bit more, well, not unmanageable, but it becomes a harder thing to put in a box. But
it
yeah,
becomes
so
a
it's,
lifestyle, doesn't it?
yeah,
After, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I find that I'm constantly trying to figure out how to balance my work life with what I'm doing, because it'd be fun to go shoot every night and every weekend, but I have a family, and I I need to make sure I'm home, I'm available. Um so I spent a long time between our first feature and everything we're working on now, trying to figure out how do I make this work. In the fall we started shooting an improvised feature film. Um, it's about two best friends. They're living together after one of them loses his job. He works as a business ethics consultant, and the movie opens as he's um, he's getting a Zoom call job interview for this job to be a business ethics consultant, and his best friend is like helping him tying his tie or whatever, and he gets the job. Meanwhile, his friend finds out that he's been laid off, so that there's a bit of this conflict. But it turns out this job is working for organized crime. This organized crime kingpin, he's trying to figure out how to bring the ethics into organized crime. And this business ethics consultant finds himself. It's like, oh no, what do I do? So they go on the run, and that's the movie. We got probably the first 25-30 minutes of it shot, and then we had to put it on
Oh,
hold to
great.
work on other projects. But it's an improvised feature. We're trying to reuse the resources we have, friends' houses,
Yeah,
houses. But it's fun when you can build up a nice cohort of collaborators, and just like, all right, let's go shoot this afternoon. Let's go out a bit to the movie, and it's so
mm,
fun to be able to get out there. But you got to balance life too.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I think
yeah,
we're lucky. We've got quite a few people in Cardiff, which is where we're both based in Wales. There's a lot of there's a lot of actors around who are just happy to sort of give a bit of time and have a bit of fun. So we're hoping we can recreate the same sort of stuff we did with them before, and keep that group together, but then maybe try and build on it and have scenes with more than just me in, and one other person and two
yeah.
camera angles.
Oh yeah,
But
two camera angles. Honestly, that's the development. Two camera angles, or look at directly at the camera.
yeah,
Honestly, that's how exciting.
What equipment do you think you'd be using on this next project with the cult project?
Uh, well, obviously, with this last one, we said GoPros, and it was like these iPhones that only last a certain amount of time. The filming, so it's difficult. But I think we might even have someone filming it for us. I
Okay,
think. Is
yes,
that?
a proper camera
that'd be
person that
nice.
we also know. Yeah, he's got drones and everything, so he's up for it. Um, so it's someone I've worked with a lot in the past. I do um, feature film, short features with students in a university here. So we've got to know each other over a few years, and he's also an actor. Um, so we're hoping to use. He's got lots of his own equipment, so we're hopefully going to just pin him down and try and do it all in a week. Again, that's another reason to keep it a week so we can use all
Mm.
this stuff.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Um, that sounds really exciting. Yeah, we've tried to figure out doing projects a couple different ways. We're shooting some documentaries right now, which means my camera's always set up and ready to go, and it's like, oh, something's happening tonight. Let's run out and go do it. Okay, just a second.
Mhm.
Oh, oh.
Sorry about that. You still there?
That's all
That's
right.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah. So I love being able to do it just with the friends and just minimal resources. But it is nice when, oh man, there's someone over here I can trust to run camera or whatever.
yeah,
Because me and my business partner Joseph, like we're trained actors. We don't need to be on camera, but it's sometimes it's the easiest thing. So in this movie Henchman that we're going to be making, yeah, we're the leads because it means we don't have to get other people available. But we're also trying to build up a cohort in our area. We found a great cameraman, and we're trying to train and teach people. And this local college trying to, give some opportunities to the local college students. You know,
yeah,
come on out, be on a set, learn how this works, and then just build up. And it sounds like you've got a good thing going in Cardiff as well. It's pretty exciting.
yeah, yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
good. Good.
Yeah. We're just like waiting now to kind of like, yeah, like you said, share it really, and see
Yeah.
what how how that works, and how taking Martin to an audience works, and those sort of things. And hearing people laugh, I suppose, because you don't obviously,
Hopefully.
hopefully,
I,
and in the
Yeah.
right places and everything.
I think it.
It's been weird. It's kind of been like we've had it for about 2 years as our thing, and now it's that. Although we've put bits out on YouTube, and some of them we get a quite nice response to, but you're never sure if it's like just some sort of spam or
Yeah.
it's not. It's very difficult to getting out there to people and in front of an audience so we can sort of hear what's going on rather than whether it's a thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun finding out. That'll be good.
After,
I've got to sit at the back.
go ahead.
Sorry. I was just it was saying me and Kev should sit at the back
No,
and listen, isn't it? So yeah,
it'd be
that's what you're
fun.
supposed to do.
So after you do your tour, with it, do you have plans for distribution? Do you know how you want to share it otherwise?
I quite like. I said we haven't really talked about it because every time just getting a screen in is like it's like a victory.
Mm.
It's like and just getting a screen in is great. So getting like if we get 5 screenings, it's brilliant. So I think it's like I quite like the fact that the only way you can see it is if you go to like a festival or you come to a show thing. I really like the fact that we haven't, and this is down to Keiron. Is to be fair, it's like we haven't just gone like, oh, let's just put it on YouTube. We haven't done that. We've resisted it, so we know for a fact that there's only one way. There's only a couple of ways you can watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that we can just when we feel like it, we can just kind of put on a show for it.
Mm-hmm.
So so no plans, but it doesn't. It'll probably be that we'll have these occasional performances and stuff, and then while we're very carefully, quietly working on the next one. So
Yeah.
that's the plan, really.
Yeah, once the next one is in the can, we can sell this to Netflix. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when I talk to people about making my movies, they're like, "Oh, so is it going to be on Netflix?" And it's like, it's not that easy.
No,
But I do have a friend
no,
who's a small distributor that I can get you in contact with him if you want.
thanks. Oh,
very much.
So
yeah,
just let me.
it'll probably be like it would be like you said. It'll be after like a bit like you do with the theatre show. It's be like we need to sort of get out there for a bit first. But yeah, no, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah. No, just let me.
And we may end up filming the Q&As as well and seeing if that becomes a way of also doing it, or as me and Kev were talking earlier on about doing a tour around the country at least
Do
to
you?
see and do it.
I don't know. It's not my business, but I love the idea of extending the story by, like you said, recording the screenings, and you seeing Martin in character in public. It's almost like he's reverting back to everything he kind of gave up. And at the end of the story, he's like, maybe I'm going to call quits. Nah, I'm not. We're showing the movie. I'm going to be big again. And so,
That's really funny. Yeah, that's
it's
really
almost
funny.
it's like what Sacha Baron Cohen does with his Borat character. I think, I don't know. Maybe there's something there too.
Yeah.
Just,
So it'd be like
Yeah,
Al
it's
Pacino.
just it's getting the boundaries for us. I think that's
Mhm.
the thing because we're going to do some filming at screenings, but it's getting the boundaries about at what point you just got to switch the camera off.
Yeah,
It's kind of like so it's that balance really.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
because we quite like the idea of like taking Martin to like unusual cinemas and stuff. And theatre spaces, so it's kind of like he doesn't know if he's going to get a good crowd and things like that. So that's kind
And
of
there's
interesting.
also, sorry, Kev, but then if it does turn into that, then it can become a travelogue, or we can do a little bit of a Michael Palin on it, except he's not going to as many glamorous places. That kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's the thing. That unfortunately, as soon as we start talking about it, that's what's kept us going for the past couple of years. Was and that could happen. And what about this? And so
That's how I feel. Like I made so many short films when I was growing up, and then I focused on life and being an adult for a while. And it's like, I'm done with this. I finished my doctorate, and I'm like, I want to focus on what I want to do. And that's when we started getting into our feature films. And it's like, okay, but once I kind of reopened that place in my mind, it's like, oh man, there's this idea and this idea and this idea. I have the next like 10 years planned out. Who knows what I'm going to end up doing, but it's really exciting. You created a cool character, and there's so many things you could do with them.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, and thanks. And yeah, we every time somebody watches it, we're kind of like so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
But thanks, and like, yeah, we're really grateful to be in the festival. We're really sort of like,
Yeah,
who else is
absolutely.
going to follow it? And stuff.
Well, does that feel like a natural conclusion to our conversation today?
Yeah, unless there's anything else you want to talk about, it's all good.
Oh man, well I was talking to a documentary filmmaker last week from Ireland, and I was like, I don't want to end this phone call. I'm having so much fun. I wish we could keep talking, but maybe another time. But for now, thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on here and for submitting your film.
Oh,
Well, thank you, Jacob.
Thanks very much.
Hope
And
the
good luck with the
screening
festival.
yeah, I hope the screenings go well.
Thank you.
Good luck to you all.
I'll send out links so that you know where this video is at, and I don't know. I'll probably send it out as just a podcast too, because we can do that. But thank you so much.
Great. Oh, it's brilliant.
All
Thank
right,
you.
cheers, Jacob.
Take care.
All right,
Bye.
thank you so much.
Bye.
Ta-da, ta-da.